Their second group game, the fact that they're here is such a win. So anything from here, I think, would be a bonus. I think of any potential matchup they could have had in the knockout round, playing Canada is pretty damn ideal. But at the same time, I still think that Canada as a host nation would have expected to have done more.
I'm loving this for South Africa. I think for your opening game to be in the Azteca against Mexico and to get another host nation, but obviously not as the extent of playing in the Azteca, that they won't be in Canada. So I fancy South Africa in this game. I do. I think Canada were underwhelming against Switzerland as well, and they didn't sit in the most aggressive press that we're used to seeing from Canada. And if they do that against South Africa, by the way, and South Africa break it, they're countering them. I think I love Maseko's goal.
England fans will be getting ready for today's.
We're on to stay right here.
Our shepherd was murdered. We shall solve the crime.
Worth a shot.
Yep.
Top striker, great finish. And I think if you're pressing South Africa and they break it, he's getting in behind all day.
They handle transitions really well. Out of a lot of the teams that we've seen try and do these transitions, especially in this heat, South Africa have looked really good, especially in the last two games. Just what they've showcased and being able to be, I would say, quite brave in certain aspects. There's a kind of an element of a freedom when they're all sort of going in a very much in a purposeful manner. Now, what's interesting about it is when I look at Jesse Marsch, he is the type of person that his formations, he tries to put you into boxes and squeeze you and make you almost not be able to handle or not get out in transitions. So you're going to see a really good tactical battle between the two coaches in who can actually break the press, who wants to initiate the press, and when they go as well. Because the conditions, the two teams, and also the fact that both teams are kind of, I would say, squaring up to each other and believing that they could beat each other might make for one of the most interesting ties we've seen in the World Cup so far, because you could make a case for both teams and you can understand why Canada would have the advantages, especially being a host. But that doesn't count out what Bafana can actually do, especially in transition in the final third as well.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to bring up a vibe meter now in terms of how Canada is feeling going into this game.
Like this.
We have labelled it the names of Drake albums, just because Drake is
How many were you alive for? You just making sure that you were alive for all of them?
I'm pretty sure I was alive for all of them.
Okay.
Right, so let's go through these categories.
Man, I'm old.
I'll read them out to you, JD.
Oh, yeah, I can't even see that.
So the first one, What a Time to Be Alive.
Great album.
More Life.
Okay.
For All the Dogs. So Far Gone.
Oh, classic.
Nothing Was the Same.
Definite classic.
And Honestly, Nevermind.
Yeah, you can honestly never mind all of that as well.
But can I just say, I think Honestly Nevermind was my favourite album.
Shock you would say that, because that's what I know when you became a Drake fan last year. Yeah, when Drake jumped on TikTok, that's when you jumped on.
Nothing was the same.
I see.
Now, this is not rating the calibre of the album. This is rating how...
Check.
Remember it though, do you? Because it was only last week.
It came out, honestly, a year ago. I do remember. OK, everybody, time to bring in athletic football correspondent Josh Cloak. Josh, I'm not sure how much Drake you know, how much Drake music you know, but on terms of where this Canadian national team is on a vibe meter, would you agree that vibes are kind of in the middle?
Yeah, I'm not much of a Drake guy. I'm more of, if we're talking, important Canadian artists, I'm more of a Neil Young guy.
Okay.
And I would say the vibes right now for Canada, if we're looking for, records as comparable.
So much on the line here. Whoever wins the group. If it is a draw, Colombia will effectively win the group there. We saw Ronaldo get his brace against Uzbekistan. He kind of announced to everyone in the world, look, Messi isn't the only superstar playing in this World Cup. Are you expecting to see the same from him tomorrow?
No. No, I think that was dependent on the opponent. I think Uzbekistan were an incredibly easy opponent. Colombia have proven a difficult opposition. I think their defense has been very good so far at this tournament. And I think this is, to me, a game between equals. Maybe a slight favorite to Portugal. Portugal have obviously that incredible talent in midfield, but Colombia as a collective, as a unit, have been as good as South America have had for several years now. And I think this is going to be much more like the kind of games we'll see from Portugal in the knockout stage. I think the first two games have been a different kind of game. I think now Portugal are going to have to prove it at a higher level. So no, I don't think he's going to get 2 easy goals and multiple other easy chances as he did against Uzbekistan.
You nearly walked out.
Let's let you go first. No, let you go first. I'll let you go first.
I mean, I'm agreeing from a defensive standpoint. I think there's a potential for Colombia to maybe have another humbling for Portugal, obviously getting multiple goals up against Uzbekistan. But I'm agreeing with you. I like Colombia from a defensive standpoint. Munoz with 2 goals as well from that back line. So I think collectively, I think they can make it really difficult for Portugal again. I think this game will be really tight. And if they do that, the talent, I'm waiting for their front line to really get going, though, from a Colombia standpoint. But
Please don't take me on. I just don't want to go to work.
defensively, I like them.
I like them defensively. I will never take that away from them. I think they're so solid. There's a real compact and a pride also in defending that I definitely see with Colombia. But what the other aspects of it is, there's also this confidence in Colombia right now that they actually want to implement themselves in the final third and want to go and showcase that they can beat some of the bigger teams, so-called on paper historically. And I actually think that plays into Portugal's hand. I think what we're looking at is potentially 2 teams that really want to make a statement, first of all, and just showcasing as to where they finish and who takes control of the group. But more importantly, there was a lot of question marks around Cristiano Ronaldo, and I thought I saw an adjustment, which is like one of my favourite things to see from coaches. When I see someone like Alberto Martinez, who's obviously he's done what he's done at both national level, international level, domestic level, whatever you want to see, but still wants to make adjustments for his teams to allow his team to be successful. That was the first thing that I think was an encouraging sign for Portugal and how far they can go in this competition.
Yeah, Ronaldo isn't the only storyline, though, is he? There's so many storylines coming out of this game. JD, do you want to give us your...
What do you want to that this game starts with, Charlie?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you know, something that we'll look at on Lamal's got an opportunity.
And he tries to grab the ball away. He's hustling for it. Then the low pace pass from the left-hand side takes a deflection behind for a corner. It was Oyarzabal. And he gets a lucky block off Bentancur, the Tottenham man, and goes behind for a Spanish corner.
Yeah, it is the mindset of Lamine Yamal already. Can we press that little trigger of that backward pass? He goes, he waves his way through. And Oyarzabal just tries to play it across the box into Mikel Merino, who's very good at arriving in the box late, and cut out there by Ugarte.
So corner to Spain, then we'll go to Houston, where it's Cape Verde against Saudi Arabia, about to get underway, if not already. Corner from the near side, swung right in on top of Muslera, all in orange, the Uruguayan goalkeeper. He puts his hands in the sky and catches the ball and instantly tries to release it to the halfway line. Cucurella is back there, comfortable header for him. And here comes Spain again. Talk about that intensive start. Spain certainly want the early goal. They're leading Group H as it stands, 4 points from their opening 2 games. Aymeric Laporte has it on the halfway line. And we will go to Houston then for the first time on this Saturday morning on BBC. Radio 5 Live. Cape Verde, everybody's second favourite team of the tournament, really, taking on Saudi Arabia. Rob Law.
Absolutely a recipe for a good game here as well, Mike. Cape Verde have captured the hearts of many at this World Cup. A small island nation, no larger than Sheffield. It's already picked up points against Spain and Uruguay. They will reach the knockout stage.
of the ball. Laporte, Rodri as well likes to head it, so need to be wary of that set plays for Uruguay tonight. But like I said earlier, they've just fallen into that sort of back six and three, and leaving Núñez up front on his own and soaking up that pressure.
Yeah, and that line of 6 stands 10 yards outside their penalty area. Spain go long into the 18-yard box where there are no white shirts of Spain. White shirts, shorts and socks for Luis de la Fuente's side in Mexico. Most of the pitch in shade, little strip of sunshine creeps in from the corner on the far side. Uruguay trying to play out from the back, now face the onrush of Mikel Merino, forcing Uruguay to go long as they played it in and around their own penalty area. Darwin Núñez claims he got a little shove in the back as he rises for a header on the halfway line. Referee not interested. Ismail El Fathers let some decisions go already in this game. He's trying to get a flow to the match. Ball with Laporte inside the centre circle. He now moves to the left-hand side of it, rolls it forward. So 0-0 here. How are things looking in Houston inside the opening 10 minutes? Rob Law.
Still 0-0 between Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. Cape Verde seeing more of the ball early on, though. Their attitude has been the same throughout. Stay organised and go for the win. Ryan Mendes getting plenty of joy down the right-hand side, but still goalless.
Thank you, Rob. So Cape Verde, as it stands, would be into that top 8 selection of third-place teams. Uruguay need to lose where Scotland are concerned, and they also need Iran to lose later tonight as well. Iran take on Egypt in your commentary game on BBC Radio 5 Live from 4 AM as Group G concludes. Efan Akoko alongside Lee Blakeman for that one. Updates of Belgium against New Zealand. And later today, England's final group game. They take on Panama. Commentary from 10 o'clock, build up throughout the day on BBC Radio 5 Live. It's Uruguay here have a free kick deep inside their own half, and again face the press from Spain in their own defensive third. It's caused Muslera to hack the ball high up into the air without too much horizontal direction on it, although Uruguay have worked it well out towards the left-hand side. Now we'll look for the run of Darwin Núñez, who's got round the back of Pau Kubasi, but illegally going too soon. Spain free kick for offside. Charlie Allen.
Yeah, it was good idea from Uruguay, playing it out at the back, and Núñez just went too early. But if he'd actually held his line, he would have been staying on side. He would have got off the back of Kubasi there, but he went too early, and obviously the offside. But the other threat, there'll be a threat, because one thing we know about Núñez from the Premier League in his time at Liverpool, he wants to work. He'll run hard, he'll chase everything, and it won't be an easy evening for the Spanish centre-backs tonight.
Here is Canobio, that long hair of his tied back in a loose bun. Still has hair dangling down behind his ears. It is a very green stadium in Guadalajara. I mentioned the grass mounds outside the arena. Over on the far side, a very well-kept hedgerow that wouldn't be out of place at Aintree or Cheltenham, perhaps, but that is separating the fans from the pitch. About 7-8 foot tall hedgerow as Uruguay come forward here. Little stutter in the step of Maxi Araujo. Oh, then given away by Spain on the edge of the penalty area. Uruguay try to play it on the edge of the D. They've overhit it, and now the foul has been given, awarding Spain a free kick. Spain, just for all their possession, Charlie, have to be careful.
Yeah, again, the turnover of the ball, and just on the edge of the box there. Pedri giving the ball away and nearly getting caught, so they need to be wary of that when they win it, they can't be messing around on the edge of the box, because they've got dangerous. They're good players, Uruguay, and they've got some good quality in there.
Well worked, and it was involving Federico Valverde, the Real Madrid man. Incidentally, prior to the World Cup, the Spanish side didn't feature a single Real Madrid player. They've got around that loophole, perhaps, by signing Marc Cucurella when the tournament got underway. In fact, when they won the 2010 World Cup, of that starting team from that game 16 years ago, only one player didn't represent Real Madrid or Barcelona. That was Juan Capdevila of Villarreal. Now there's 7 different teams represented in this Spanish squad in today's starting lineup. Rodri tries to pirouette on the ball, poorly so, and tackled by Manuel Ugarte as Manchester United tackles Manchester City. Darwin Núñez will let the ball run. I think he's offside. Llorente comes as cover. Play out towards the left-hand touchline as he goes to the ball and collects it first. Flag stays down for now, and with the defence reset, VAR won't look at it if anything comes from a Uruguay perspective, as Yamal claims he was hampered, trying to wriggle free on the halfway line. I think that was all fair, wasn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, it was all fair. It was a good tussle between the full-back and Lamal. He knows he's going to have a game tonight, Sanabria, and he's got to be ready for Yamal, but he sort of muscled him there, and referee did well to play on.
So still 0-0 after nearly quarter of an hour in Mexico. Spain's first World Cup showdown with another South American side since they lost to Chile in the 2014 group stage. Overall, Spain have a mixed record against sides from South America. 1-6, drawn 4, lost 5. Spain in possession inside the centre circle with the two centre-backs just switching passes between them. Laporte, Kabasi back, and then now it's Kabasi who tries to split the lines. Rodri, bending ball with pace out towards the right-hand side. 20-yard pass or so finds Yamal with the multicoloured ball at his feet now. The ball flies off the outside of the boot of Manuel Ugarte, and out for a Spain corner on the far right-hand side.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's the difference. You know, maybe that Spain team back in the day, they would have tried to link that and play. Yamal's thought is, can I get on my left foot, can I cut back inside and I'll deliver into the box, because they've got the height of, you know, Moreno arriving in the box. So really dangerous from Spain at the moment in terms of having that doubt. Can we put the ball in the box and making Uruguay defend?
It is tempting to say Barcelona, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's that many players, but
corner comes in, outswinging delivery to the edge of the 6-yard box. Rodri went to meet it, so did Kabasi. Neither got a header on it, and Uruguay are able to clear away. Cucurella, quick appeals to the official on this near side for handball as Uruguay tried a quick pass up to Darwin Núñez, but back was Kabasi. So from trying to attack the ball at one end with his head on the corner, Kabasi's back to block the pass to Darwin Núñez just past the centre circle. 0-0 still.
Yeah, I seen the pass there from Bentancur. I actually probably should have tried to slide in the winger of Uruguay, Canabio, but he tried to play that diagonal pass, and Kabasi done really well to get back. But really interesting for Spain, being aggressive in that sort of 4-4-2 press, putting pressure under Uruguay, but Uruguay just sitting off 6-3-1 and not allowing Spain any sort of space in between centre-back and full-back.
Yamal with a shot that is blocked inside a penalty area by a crowd of Uruguay navy shirts. Ball cleared away, and look how far up the pitch Unai Simon is. He's almost at the tip of the centre circle, rather than inside his own 18-yard box away to our right-hand side. Uruguay 0, Spain 0. Laporte back at walking pace, edge of his defensive third. Spain topping the group, Uruguay coming second. Likely that one of Cape Verde or Saudi Arabia comes third in the group. We'll go to Houston in just a moment. I think the roof's closed in Houston as well. No such problems in Guadalajara, where the sun shines down from the blue skies, although players will be thankful as we near up to 7:30 in the evening that the sun is setting, and lengthy shadows in the strip of sun on that far side, of which Yamal now dances his way down the far side touchline, passes the ball infield. Mikel Merino was caught late there, rolls around, slowly gets back to his feet again. The referee happy to let it play.
Yeah, just trying to play on again, but the thought is for Spain is, can we get it? Can we get Yamal on the ball as quick as we can? Looking to give him the trust and the opportunity to be creative and make things happen over on that right-hand side. So again, you know, that's how much trust they have in the player of Yamal, that they know that he can create, he can make things happen, and he's been bright so far. Like I say, just making sure that he can go and make things happen for them, because it's going to be a tough evening for Spain, especially when Uruguay drop into that sort of back six. For me, you're going to need a bit of magic, a bit of 1v1. Can you take him on? And again, his thought is, can I come inside? Can I have a shot? Can I cross? And that's, you know, that's the difference between the players.
Lovely flick round the corner, and Zabal trying to get in, well marshalled at the back by Oliveira, who just managed to swipe a right boot at the ball as Oyarzabal was wanting to take it on his left. Presents Spain with his throw, level with the corner of the penalty area. Near side there left, white shirts on for Spain today. Cucurella throws that towards the byline. And he's then played off a Uruguay defender, and it will be a Spain corner. So we'll let this corner happen, then we'll go to Houston, get the latest on Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabia. Alex Biner, set-piece specialist, heads over towards the corner on the near side, Spain's left, so expect an in-swinging delivery, although he just stands with his feet planted by the ball. Referee having a word with Canobio here, certainly indicating that this is now the third time that he's warned him for his antics in the box, so he's got to be careful. 2 players for Uruguay at risk of missing the next game. Corner comes in, oh, keeper that came, didn't get there, swiped a fist at it. Spain couldn't connect, it's cleared a way out for a throw on this near side. Let's go to Houston, Rob Law.
Still 0-0, 19 minutes in. Both teams almost reluctant to overcommit with so much on the line at the minute. Both sitting deep and trying to catch the other one out, lacking some quality in the final third. But it is opening up in the last few moments. Saudi Arabia just had a shot blocked from inside the area. Al-Dassari thought he had a moment in front of goal, but remember, they need to win or they're out. As it stands, Cape Verde are the ones going through. 0-0.
Yamal tricking his way on the right-hand side. His pullback was poor, though, and there were too many navy shirts back there. Interesting to hear what Rob said there, Charlie, about both sides not willing to commit just yet. Do you get the same impression in this game?
No, I think that the impression is there that Spain want to try and get this game and get a goal ahead as quick as they can and take the tie away from Uruguay. And that'll be the thought for them. Can we get that, and then ultimately maybe take some players off to rest them and look at the sort of squad and the players that they've got available to them. You know, people like Dani Olmo, Gavi in the sort of on the bench tonight. So yeah, the thought would be, can we get that early goal to try and settle everybody and then think about it. But Spain have started the game really well.
Not far from the hydration break. Spain and Uruguay goalless at the moment in Mexico. Aymeric Laporte, who was given his debut at club level by the now Uruguay manager, Marcelo Bielsa, at Athletic Club Bilbao. I have to say, from that last Spain corner, there was not conviction on the goalkeeper. Came for a punch, didn't connect with it. That's goalkeepers at both ends have made a little error, not yet to cost their side, but at the same time has hardly filled their back line with confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, when the come in from Bina, there was a lot of bodies round him, and he tried to come for the punch, missed it, and it actually, I think Kubalsi actually reacted late, and it come off the wrong side of his head and come away, because it was a free header in the goal if it actually read it, the flight of the ball. But yeah, both goalkeepers have caused themselves so many problems a couple of problems at the moment coming out for the ball.
Saturday morning, BBC Radio 5 live. Pedri with the back heel, trying to find Oyarzabal, who plays his club football for Real Sociedad. 11 seasons he's been at the Spanish side now. Copa del Rey winner this year. Scored a penalty in the shootout. Good record for Spain in 2026. 5 goals in 4 appearances. Rodri to the edge of the centre circle. Pedri turns past Federico Valverde, and now Llorente's joined the attack on the right-hand side, gets the cross in. Where's the ball falling to? Because Mikel Merino didn't get the decisive touch. It falls into a bit of space, and it is clawed by Fernando Muslera, the Uruguayan goalkeeper.
Yeah, good play from Yamal, you know, allowing the ball through his legs. Again, it's that Moreno arriving in the box, being a threat from sort of midfield. He's really good at making the runs, and now just gone into the hydration break.
Met by a chorus of boos, unsurprisingly. Interesting always at these moments to see how teams react, how the coaches are passionate or how relaxed they are. Lamine Yamal walks off with Pedri, 2 Barcelona players who will have that deep understanding of one another, just having a little conversation between the pair of them. Uruguay and their team all on the pitch as we get a lovely aerial shot of Estadio Guadalajara, the steep rising grass mounds up to the roof. the flat roof on top, kind of like a pie crust, isn't it? Around a very deep-filled pie, 2 tiers all the way around, separated by hospitality boxes. The last of the evening sun just going across the top tier on the kind of northeast side of the ground. So hydration break here. Imagine they're not too far away from one either in Houston. Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Rob Law.
Yeah, no booze yet, so that will tell you that there is no hydration break just yet at Houston. They are still playing, but we have had the first shot in anger. Here come the booze, so this is the hydration break. Cape Verde going close through Willie Semedo, one of 5 changes for them coming into this game. Accelerated into the box, left-hand side, step-overs for good measure, and his shot down low at the near post was just touched behind. The best moment of the game so far. Cape Verde starting to grow into this. They've defended really well and starting to open up, especially down the left-hand side with Willie Semedo. But as it stands at the hydration break, I can't bring myself to say that it's the first quarter. It is still 0-0.
Well, we are a quarter of the way through this game in Mexico. 0-0 here as well. So as it stands, Spain 5 points, Uruguay have 3. They have scored more than Cape Verde, so they are second, Cape Verde are third, Saudi Arabia going home 4th. The point good enough for Cape Verde at the moment. That would put them 6th of those third place teams. 12 of them there will be, 8 will make it through to the knockouts. Currently Sweden, Ecuador and Bosnia all assured. Paraguay all but there. Senegal, Cape Verde, Croatia and South Korea round out the top 8. We'll keep you across it throughout the morning on BBC Radio 5 Live. When we're done here, then attention's turned to Group G. Commentary of Egypt, Iran, that is vital for both. Updates of Belgium against New Zealand. How would you use this hydration break then, Charlie Adam, if you were both Uruguay and Spain, as David Silva and Carlos Puyol, one with a tie on, one without, watch down in Guadalajara?
Andy Casillas, what a 3 there, who've won everything for Spain, part of that sort of golden generation, and this group of golden generation will be hoping that they can emulate that. Again, for me, I don't enjoy the hydration break, but if I'm a coach, I think it's a great opportunity to get your team done, get in, get your tactics done, small tweaks. If I'm De La Fuente, I'm saying, listen, keep going. Can we get some speed in the ball a little bit more? Can we have a little bit more movement at the top end of the pitch, because we started the game really well? Where Bielsa will be saying, you know, we have to be more of a threat if we can, and get a ball up to Núñez instead of just going long. Can we get it into his feet to be able to bring others into the game? So, but I think both coaches will be quite happy in terms of what they've given so far.
Silva, Puyol and Casillas all part of the 2010 World Cup winning squad. As a man who tries to emulate Puyol's hair, Cucurella takes a throw in, and Uruguay have got the ball. They flick it on with Darwin Núñez, back heel right across the 6-yard box on the right-hand side. That was a chance. Núñez tried to tee up someone, at least I hope that was intention, otherwise it was far too casual. Uruguay have the ball on the left-hand side. Sanabria laid out to his teammate in the son of Maxi Araujo, and he gives it away on the turn. That allows Spain to canter forward here, play with the outside of the boot. A race is on towards this near side touchline now for Alex Bainer. He gets a cross in that he squeezes along the byline, doesn't go out of play. Muslera catches, picks it up from the ground, and things will just calm down. What a chance for Uruguay, Charlie.
Yeah, it's a massive chance for Darwin Núñez, and that's the difference. If that was Haaland, if that was Kane, if that was Ronaldo, they're having a shot. They ain't flicking that to anybody on the penalty spot. They're ruthless. They're putting that in the back of the net, and Núñez had a great chance and an opportunity to open the scoring there for Uruguay.
14 games without a goal for Darwin Núñez, who in qualifying equalled Hector Scaroni's 1928 record of scoring in 7 successive games for Uruguay, but the barren run since then is showing a player really out of form. 28 minutes played, we've had the hydration break, we are underway again for the second half of the first half. Uruguay 0, Spain 0. Key chances yet to appear, but here comes Darwin Núñez now, maybe trying to make amends. Right-hand side, puts a low ball in, 6-yard box, diving away from his goal was Unai Simon to smother the ball before there was any Uruguay player racing in. 2 half moments there for Darwin Núñez, who's slowly and surely coming into this game.
Yeah, it was good play from Núñez. He attacks it. he does a brilliant ball just across there, and Simon just collects it. But yeah, positive play from Uruguay. And again, Nunes, a lot of the time for when we've seen him in the Premier League for Liverpool, there's a lot of work outside the box, and if you're a number 9, you need to be in the box. So, you know, important that it's great that he wants to run the channel and that for you, but you know, you need to score goals in between the posts, and I feel that he does a lot of work outside that to really affect the goal.
Yeah. You want him on the end of the pass.
Absolutely,
that he put into the box, don't you?
It was a decent enough ball, but I want my striker getting across that front post and making a difference, and maybe just getting in front of the goalkeeper and nicking it. But that was a big moment he had earlier in just terms of trying to flick it when he should have had the shot.
Voice of Charlie Adam from Scotland International on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sound. You can follow this game on the BBC Sport website and app as well. Uruguay 0, Spain 0. Hacked away by Oliveira, almost on the half volley. Put a left boot under the ball and sent it up towards the halfway line. It's now out for a throw-in, which the bleach blonde-haired Guillermo Varela will take. Plays his football in Brazil for Flamengo. He was David Moyes' first signing at Manchester United, was Guillermo Varela. Only played 11 times. And shared the right-back role in qualifying, but he's got the call-up now as Bentancur swings a ball in from the right with a bit of pace, and attacked on the slide by Maxi Araujo, who didn't connect. Goes behind by the corner flag, out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's what you want from your opposite winger there. Araujo arriving, trying to get in the back post, but again, where's Darwin Nunes? He's outside the box, he's trying to link the play. Get in the middle of goals, and that should have been Nunes attacking that area. Araujo should have been getting round the back to maybe tap that in, but it was a lovely ball in the box, in between the goalkeeper and centre-back. Lovely pace on it, but, you know, Araujo actually realised that Nunes wasn't there, and he attacked the front post and nearly got on the end of it.
You want Darwin Nunes attacking that kind of ball, not least for his height. He's got longer legs than Araujo, and I think Darwin Nunes sliding in might have connected with that ball. Yeah. Araujo's slightly smaller in stature, didn't get any touch.
No, he didn't get there, but what I'm saying is if you've got, let's say, Nunes attacking the front and he misses it, Araujo could have been just tapping that in the back post as the opposite winger. When coming in the right, you always tell your opposite winger, can you get in that back post? I would expect 4 or 5 goals a season from my opposite winger, things like that. It was, no, it was a good ball in, and he made the idea to get across the front.
Still goalless. Canobio comes in from the near side touchline, is tripped. Uruguay have a free kick. Since the restart after the hydration break, Uruguay have stepped it up a little bit.
Yeah, real more intent to go and being aggressive. You know, when they lose it, they're trying to press quickly. And to be fair to the referee, now he's starting to give fouls and opportunities now for Uruguay. He's now just seen Bielsa there just telling everybody to calm down and sat on his box again, but real character, wasn't he, when he was in the Premier League with Leeds?
Yeah, not really well liked within the Uruguay squad, let alone the public back home. Bielsa, he's called himself toxic. He held a 2-hour press conference once to explain himself. Free kick is swung in. Seaman dives away from his goal, hasn't got a touch on it. Here's Canobio. Seaman trying to readjust inside the 6-yard box. Canobio's shot is blocked, and then a series of loose balls are hooked away by Spain as Yamal almost ducks under the ball and invites Uruguay to get the possession back. Then a meaty challenge, all fair. Wins it on the halfway line. Araujo lost his guidance on the pitch a little bit there, and that allows the white shirts of Spain, who are attacking right to left in this first half, to get back hold of the ball, slow things down with Baena. I think they need to slow things down here, Spain. They haven't seen much of it in the last 5-10 minutes or so.
No, I think, for me, that's what I expect from Uruguay. Be aggressive, making fouls, making tackles, and this is what we've seen sort of since the hydration break. They've been more aggressive in the press, getting after, let's say, a couple of good tackles there, letting the Spain lads know we're in a game here and we need to be aggressive, because if you don't and you allow the Spain players to play, Pedri, Yamal, Baena here on this left-hand side, what a ball.
Swung in and inches away from Oyarzabal connecting. It goes through to Muslera, who catches at his far post and then releases the ball long. Little pressure on here. Nunez and Kabasi with a downward header, and Seaman comes to the edge of his penalty area and gathers the ball. Yeah, again from Baena there, lovely ball, cuts in back inside his right foot, and he gets a lovely ball in the sort of front post area. Your number 9, Oyarzabal getting across the front and nearly just gets a nick on it, but it's a lovely movement and a great cross. Laporte from the halfway line. lost his place in the Spanish team. Didn't get many minutes towards the back end of his time in Saudi Arabia, but has come back to Athletic Club Bilbao, rebuilt himself. He says he's rediscovered the centre of his childhood, and Athletic Bilbao, the club that made him. Spain coming forward, clever dancing on the ball, pirouetting, standing on the ball and rotating around it from Lamine Yamal, but it comes to nothing. Uruguay's defence stood firm there. Cucurella, Baena, now Rodri. The man in the midfield that makes everything tick for Spain. Selected again ahead of Arsenal's Martin Zubimendi. Those two have never played together for Spain. One replaces the other, one starts in front of the other. Never side by side in a pivot role. Rodri again, right-footed, looking forward. Now moves out towards this near left-hand side. Spain and Uruguay goalless with just over 10 minutes to half-time on BBC Radio 5 Live. Rodri. Now Kabasi coming up from the defence to influence Spain in this middle of the park area, but a sloppy pass is intercepted by Bentancur, and now Araujo gives it to Darwin Núñez, who will canter up towards the halfway line. No real urgency, he checks back, turns it out towards the far side touchline. Didn't really have those options on. Araujo had gone ahead of him, but didn't really allow himself to be an option for Darwin Núñez.
No, it's good play from Núñez. He actually, you know, the counter press from Spain, played through that. Núñez holds up, drives with the ball, but turns back out because he knows there's nobody else there supporting him. Gets the ball. Now Uruguay are in control of the game, passing it well, but just watching Yamal there when he gets in the turn, there's 3 or 4 players trying to get round him to try and tackle him. It's amazing that, you know, that's what the top quality players are. They know he's a threat.
Araujo with the step overs, then the shuffle inside. There'll be a shot from distance from Bentancur, rising over the bar. Well, it had Simon panicked, it had the crowd excited, but the shot never dropped. Goal kick to Spain, 0-0.
Yeah, he's got it in him, Bentancur. He can step on, have a shot. It's a lovely strike, just went over the bar, but good play from Uruguay. Like I said, from that hydration break, they started it the next sort of period really, really well, and that was a good effort from Bentancur.
The Tottenham man had the Uruguay fans clasping their hands to their faces, many with little Uruguayan flag stickers on the side of their faces. Seeing a couple of those, plenty of sky blue shirts in the goal. At the other end of the field from where Bentancur, they'd had a right good look at that down the pitch. Away to our left-hand side, Bielsa in his baggy navy shirt, polo shirt, and his tracksuit bottoms, legs crossed on the edge of his drinks box. He's looking very passionate. Why get up when you can just shout it all from the edge of your drinks box?
Yeah, no, I think he's like saying he's trying to protect that middle. Valverde and Bentancur, 2 real key players, with Gatti just sitting in behind them to nullify that threat of Spain at the top end of the pitch. But Valverde and Bentancur putting a lot of effort. You see that already, that, you know, that they're getting around the pitch really well, being aggressive, trying to set a tone against these Spanish players. Because I said before, if you allow Pedri, you allow Rodri and Mikel Merino to dictate the game, then it becomes a long evening. You have to get closer to make it difficult for them, and they've definitely done that, the 3 of them.
Maxi Araujo's won a free kick here. As a man wearing an F1 cap takes a ball straight to the face. Talking of the F1, it is the Austrian Grand Prix. I was waiting to drop that in, and that fan behind the goal has absolutely built that up beautifully for me. Saturday in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll bring you qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. Mercedes Kimi Antonelli top Friday, second practice yesterday, as Kabasi plays the long ball forward. Referee ducks under the ball. Here's Marino, more on the left of centre now, started out on the right-hand side. Araujo's back there doing some defending. Will go to Houston. In fact, we'll go now, throwing a Uruguay on this near side inside their own half. How's the latest looking between Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia? Rob Law.
Still 0-0, 37 minutes on the clock, but Cape Verde really applying the pressure now. João Paulo with a deep cross that was allowed to drift dangerously close to the back post, but nobody there to make Saudi Arabia pay. That was after Dylan Livramento got right to the byline to cut it back, but again, his teammates didn't read it. Cape Verde getting closer and closer. Saudi Arabia have been forced into an early change as well. Tambakti has been stretchered off. Liamye comes on to replace him at centre-back. 36 minutes in, 0-0.
Rodri plays the ball down the middle. Uruguay with it fairly, leaving a Spanish player stricken on the ground. 6 minutes to go of the first 45. And it is Uruguay 0, Spain 0. It is Oyarzabal who is down, holding his right thigh, Charlie Adam.
Yeah, it's just Agate just left one on him there. It's a fine, it's a good tackle. Oyarzabal just now in a bit of pain there, but Agate's telling him to get up. But yeah, it was a good tackle from the midfielder, being aggressive, getting close to him. And I think that sort of hydration break, we talked about tactically changed. I think the tempo of what Uruguay off the ball's changed. They've got more aggressive against Spain, and they've won more second ball, so they're starting to grow into the game and really comfortable what they're doing. But it's that was a good tackle.
Perhaps no surprise we are level. These two have met twice before in a World Cup and drawn both. 2-2 in 1950, 0-0 in 1990, where Uruguay missed a late penalty. Spain are unbeaten against the South American side, though. 1-5, drawn 5. It's 13 years since they last met. 2-1 win in the Confederations Cup in Brazil for Spain. Spain, who are on an incredible unbeaten run. 32 matches, winning 23 of those. It stretches back to a 1-0 loss against Colombia in London back in March 2024. Oyarzabal, having received treatment, is having to take some time out on the touchline here, and he's not happy. He's having a word with the fourth official, the Costa Rican Juan Calderon, as Luis de la Fuente, in his open-top long-sleeve shirt, walks back to his dugout. Spanish manager who was part of the academy setup, so he knows a lot of these players. He's grown with them. He's grown the team, really well liked within Spain. Wasn't the obvious candidate to get the job, but he's made it work, winning the Euros a couple of years ago, and now wants to add a second World Cup to Spain's collection as well. Pedri on the ball midway inside the Uruguayan half. 0-0, right-footed pass out towards the far side, where Yamal slams himself into Sanabria. Sliding was Araujo. He didn't get to the ball. Llorente puts a low cross in, then on the turn, and the shot that squirms into the net. Alex Baena scores for Spain in a period where they've had to soak up a lot of Uruguayan pressure. It puts Uruguayan futures on hold in this World Cup. Spain look to top the group. A turn, a shot that 40-year-old Muslera, diving down to his right, did not convincingly get a good enough touch on, and it rolls into the bottom corner. Spain lead Uruguay by a 1-0.
Yeah, it was good play from Spain down that right-hand side. Lamela actually tried to cut back in, got fouled. He gets up again, going on the outside. But it's a lovely cross, and they don't deal with the cross. And Baena again, talking about the opposite winger, getting in that sort of back post, middle of the goals. They don't defend the cross well enough, and he takes a lovely first touch, and then the goalkeeper has an absolute howler.
It's a cross that is hit more in hope than anything else from Llorente. It didn't look like it was going anywhere, but as Charlie Adams says, Alex Baena's first touch guides him away from Guillermo Varela, but the shot is so close to Muslera, he has to be saving that. I know Joe Hart has been speaking on the BBC about these balls at the World Cup, how they're causing problems for goalkeepers. That aside, I don't think there's an excuse for that.
No, the goalkeeper doesn't deal with it at all, Muslera. To be fair to Llorente, the right back, he does well to go on the overlap and that cut back, but again, Baena just coming inside, and the goalkeeper's got to do much better. I'm not too sure Joe will be being able to dig the goalkeeper out there.
Goalkeepers Union might struggle on that one. As the Spain fans jump for joy, the Uruguayan fans in and around them behind that goal all turn their backs in disbelief. Luis de la Fuente mobbed by his technical staff. Oyarzabal was jumping on the touchline, still waiting to come on at the time. And in the aftermath of that, there is a Uruguayan player down here. Just trying to work out, is it Ugarte? Oh, it's a nasty twist to the ankle. He's tried to slow himself down, to stop himself going into Oliveira, his teammate, and as he comes in to avoid that challenge, the right ankle gives way. That's a nasty one.
Yeah, that looks knee. That
Knee,
is,
it?
yeah, knee. That looks left knee. Really bad for Ugarte. Looks in a bit of pain there as well, which is not good, because he's actually started the game really well, doing a really good job, and there's that number 6 dropping into that back line. And yeah, there was nobody, they're saying no contact there really, so that's not good for Ugarte.
And he's off on a stretcher.
Manchester United.
Yeah, pre-season around the corner, but it is Ugarte who is...
It's probably one that we're looking maybe to sell this summer as well, maybe to freshen up that midfield. So yeah, not good for the lad.
There were rumours linking him to AC Milan, where his former boss Ruben Amorim is now in charge, but Ugarte goes off, his hands clasped over his eyes. He's in discomfort, and he knows that might be an incredibly serious injury. Nicolas de la Cruz, whose shirt was worn by Luis Suarez for the game against Cape Verde a few days ago, comes on in replace then of Manuel Ugarte. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. Close to finding out how much added time there'll be on BBC Radio 5 Live. The latest group standings: Spain top 7 points. Uruguay dropped to 3rd with 2 points, which is good news for Scotland. And Cape Verde, Rob Law, as we enter 8 minutes of added time, Cape Verde are 2nd.
And that could potentially set up a tie against Argentina. How is that for your fairy tale World Cup moment for the nation as big as Sheffield? Incredible. They are dominating play at the minute. They're getting more and more chances as well. They're ending this first half with the momentum, but as it stands, still Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0. But as it stands, that goal in your game, Mike, would see Cape Verde qualify 2nd from their group if it stays 0-0 here between Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia.
Thanks, Rob. Of course, the Saudi Arabia goal changes that and would put Saudi Arabia 2nd in the group. And it would put Cape Verde below Uruguay and bottom of the group. It's a fascinating group, Group H. Uruguay looking for a response. We've had the first minute of 8. Joel Mitchell standing by to take you through half-time on BBC Radio 5 Live. Spain leading Uruguay 1-0 here. Here's Araujo, turns it out towards the left-hand touchline just before the halfway line. Back it goes into the Uruguayan half. Bentancur slides it easily out towards the right-hand side. Cáceres had nowhere to go forward. I just think post-hydration break it was about Uruguay. They looked the more sharper, they looked better. Spain had done little. That is just going to knock the wind out of their sails and bring the ultimate confidence to Spain now to see at least this half out. Yeah,
and it's important now that Uruguay don't lose the mindset and the mentality that what they've been doing. They've been disciplined. They start buying little fouls now. They're making fouls, and that's not what they've tried to do in the game earlier on. But now, like you say, that sort of started after the hydration break, done really well. Had some moments, some good tackles, good shot from Bentancur. But now Spain getting that goal just takes a little bit of relief now and play with a little bit more freedom, and like to try and take the game away back again from Uruguay, because to be fair to Spain, they started the game really well, passed it well, but now they're looking to get into the rhythm again with what they were doing before.
Zabel too casual on the pass, gives it away. Here is Maxi Araujo. Can he create something down the left-hand side? Has the overlapping runner Sanabria, who goes first time with the cross. Darwin Núñez trying to squeeze in between two defenders, but Pau Kabasi is first to it. Clever little flick by Rodri to the byline, deep inside the Spain half to find Llorente, then heavy touch off Valverde, who I have to say, at this World Cup, given how important he is to Real Madrid, has really disappointed. He was wasteful against Cape Verde. I watched the game with Saudi Arabia, failed to have an impact there, and Spain have kept him quiet as well so far in this first half.
Yeah, again, it's like you say, when you're playing in a team of Real Madrid full of superstars, to then go to your national team, people look at you and think, come on then, what are you going to do? And there's a lot more pressure on these type of players. And again, you know, they never scored a goal at 8 of the last 12 games in the qualification, so they're not coming in here in great form. So must have been tough for Valverde. And again, like I say, when they're not playing well, he'll get a lot of the criticism just because of the club he plays for. But no, he's a top player. Even like Trent said, he's so underestimated.
Bainer tries to slide it through to Oyarzabal on the left side of the penalty area. In comes the challenge from Oliveira. All is fair. The ball has run out for a goal kick. 0-1. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. Midway through the 8 minutes of added time that we were shown at the end of this first half. It's almost a team of individuals, this Uruguay squad, that Bielsa can't quite knit together. There's so much talent. Valverde playing his football, of course, at Real Madrid. You've got Araujo playing in Sporting in Portugal. Ronald Araujo at Barcelona. Ugarte at Manchester United. Bentancur with Tottenham. They're big players in big teams, but on the world stage they just haven't come together, and they're trailing Spain by a goal to 0.
And ultimately, on the other hand, you've got a Spanish team that are full of superstars, but La Fuente's got them together, and that's the difference between the elite managers. They get that. Ultimately, that's how you treat them as a human, or having that sort of father figure to them. Because a lot of these young players in Spain are, the young players. Uruguay got some senior players and big personalities, but it's how you treat people is how you'll get that. And obviously Bielsa's a coach, and he has a way of working, and that maybe doesn't suit what this group is. So yeah, he's got to find the solutions. An experienced manager, experienced coach. Sometimes his way of working will work for certain groups, but might not just work for this Uruguay group.
Luis Suarez certainly very vocal about Marcelo Bielsa and not being able to work this Uruguayan team after he was left out of the squad. Luis de la Fuente, the Spanish manager, had these players, a lot of them at under 19 and under 21 level. Really does believe in this side. He says it's a generation never getting tired of working, competing, and we have the best footballers in the world, he says. They didn't come into this tournament as favourites, but although they failed to get past Cape Verde on match day 1, they certainly put Saudi Arabia to the sword, and they're leading here and topping Group H as it stands. Still Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0. 6 minutes of the 8 added on at the end of this first half have gone. Uruguay free kick, almost level with the left corner of the penalty area of Spain, but out closer to the touchline. Araujo swings it in. It's a header that comes off Laporte and will go out for a throw-in on this near side. Nobody in a navy shirt near that ball as it dropped onto head height, but Laporte didn't want to take any chances. Uruguay trying to get level before the break, trailing as they are by a goal to 0. Here is Varela, and was he pulled down? Bentancur, referee says no. He's official on this near side, keeps his flag down. Rodri, edge of his own penalty area, uses Cucurella, back to Rodri it comes. Seaman will face the pressure of Darwin Nunez, has to clip it down the middle. Bentancur steals in. Here's Araujo. Oh, he let the ball run across his body, and that allowed time for a recovering Llorente. Araujo now dummies the ball. It's played into the edge of the 6-yard box. Nunez gets the touch. Seaman with a little flight to his right-hand side, catches the ball and keeps Spain with the advantage.
Yeah, it's good play. A lovely ball from Valverde across the box. And Laporte actually is on the wrong side of Darwin Nunez, and he does brilliant to get back and sort of deflect the ball back into Simon's hands. But it was good play from Uruguay.
Reminder, Uruguay losing is a good result for Scotland in the 3rd place rankings. They would also be keen to know what Iran do later. They need Iran to lose as well against Egypt. Commentary of that to come at 4 o'clock on BBC Radio 5 Live. The small hours of Saturday morning. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. We've nearly had the 8 minutes of added time in this first half as Oyarzabal goes from range. Why not test Muslera after his mistake earlier? It goes out for a goal kick, and the referee calls half-time, where Alex Baina's goal is the difference. Turn away from the defenders on the penalty spot, and a shot towards the left-hand side of goal, spilt by Muslera, and it trickled into the bottom left-hand corner. Uruguay improved after the hydration break, after soaking up Spain pressure early on. but that Bainer goal is a blow, and Uruguay, as it stands, heading out of the World Cup.
Yeah, really positive from Spain. I think they've been excellent this sort of first half. After that hydration break, they managed to regroup, managed to get the game back away from Uruguay, but he's just shown real quality in the wide areas at times in Lamal and Bina, just trying to make things happen for him. And no, it's interesting now to see what Marcelo Bielsa does for the second half. Does he make a change tactically? Does he come away from that sort of falling into that back six, or does he try and be more aggressive and go sort of 4-4-2 press to try and get after Spain a little bit? But no, there's still opportunities. Just at back end of the half there, they had an opportunity there, but good defending from Laporte.
Uruguay need a goal, and that would take them back to second in the group standings of Group H. Half-time also in Houston, Rob Law.
0-0 between Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. Cape Verde grew into the game and have had the most chances, but it was Saudi Arabia who put hearts in mouths right before the break. A diagonal cross into the penalty area. Mohamed Kano, who playing in his third World Cup, did brilliantly to just hang in the air and get his head on the end of it. And for a moment, it looked like it was going to loop over Vizinha, the 40-year-old darling of world football, but he did really well to adjust his footing and claim it. And that was a reminder that Saudi Arabia won't go quietly, but as it stands, Cape Verde will go through second in their group with a potential last 32 tie against Argentina, of all teams. It could yet change, but it's 0-0 at the break.
Rob, thank you. The last of the sun glances off the roof of this circular stadium in Guadalajara. As it stands, Spain top the group, 7 points. Cape Verde would be second on 3. Uruguay with 2 points in third, but would not be one of the best third-place teams. Saudi Arabia, bottom of the group, also on 2 points. At the break, Joel, it is Uruguay 0, Spain 1.
Mike, Scotland fans will be holding on to your every word, no doubt for that. Thank you very much indeed. Mike Miney there for us, giving us the latest on that Group H action ongoing right now. Back with Mike, Charlie and Rob in the next few minutes. It's approaching 2 o'clock on 5 Live.
The voice of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And these are your headlines this Saturday morning. The US military says it's carried out strikes against Iran in response to an attack on a commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz on Thursday. President Trump had earlier accused Iran of a foolish violation of the ceasefire agreement. The UK record for the hottest day in June was broken for a third day in a row on Friday. Temperatures reached 37.3 degrees in Suffolk. Authorities in Venezuela say more than 900 people are now known to have died in Wednesday's 2 huge earthquakes. The United Nations says more than 50,000 people still remain unaccounted for. And the Home Office is to introduce new, capped, safe and legal routes for asylum seekers to arrive in the UK later on this year. The department said it would allow negotiations and organisations like universities, community groups and businesses to sponsor refugees who apply to come to Britain.
Immerse yourself in the sounds of summer. Crowd settles out here on centre court.
Here we go. Returns for the forehand, and that's a beauty.
Stunning backhand volley.
Slice forehand.
Backhand into the middle of the court.
He's trying to win it here. And he has!
Join us down at SW19 for Wimbledon 2026. Starts Monday at 1.
Ask your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With Joel Mitchell.
Yes, good morning. Inching towards 2 o'clock on Saturday, the 27th of June. It's that exciting bit of a World Cup where lots of permutations, lots of variations mean that for now, Scotland fans need Uruguay to lose in the current game. They are losing 1-0 to Spain, and Iran to lose in the later group games at 4 o'clock. You can hear commentary of that later here on 5 Live. So we'll head back to get the second half commentary in the next 10 minutes or so here on 5 Live. But let's just get a sense of, let's take stock of how we're feeling as things stand in these Group H games. With me is Berlin-based sport journalist Mark Meadows. Mark, morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
Spain strong, always going to be soaring ahead in this group, but that goal felt inevitable from Spain there, didn't it, Mark?
Yes, I mean, Uruguay were pretty decent actually for most of the half, but when you've got Darwin Núñez up front, you never really know what's going to happen. But at least the fact that Bielsa put him in showed that they were trying to go and try and win the game. But Spain did have the better chances, and eventually it went in. Baena, it was a great shot actually, and a good cross by Levente. But what the goalkeeper is doing, I don't know. I've followed Muslera's career very closely because I used to work in Italy when he first went to Lazio years and years ago in the mid 2000s. That's how old he is. He really is a veteran. And Uruguay have been trying to bring in a new, younger keeper for all that time, and it just hasn't happened. And Muslera is always there, but he's always liable to make one big mistake a game. And unfortunately for Uruguay, it's ended up in the back of the goal right before half-time. But Bielsa's got half-time now to try and sort it out. But you think Spain have got too much. You know, they could bring on Ferran Torres. They could bring on Nico Williams. They really obviously want to win this group. So you have to think Spain will see it out now.
Yeah, options for Spain still in that second half. A shocker for the keeper in that goal. And Mike was referring there to the balls at these games not being maybe friendly for goalkeepers. That one feels hard to defend, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always moans from goalkeepers at World Cups with new balls. Every single World Cup I've ever covered, the goalkeepers have moaned about the balls. And actually, I've heard less moaning about this ball than others. That is just a big mistake. You can't really put it down to anything other than the goalkeeper not properly concentrating. And sure, Alex Baena maybe took the shot a bit earlier than Muslera thought he would, and that's why it's ended up in the net. But if you want to go far in a World Cup, you've got to have a top goalkeeper. And unfortunately, Muslera proves again and again he's not that player.
You mentioned Marcelo Bielsa going into the changing room at half-time. This hasn't been the ideal World Cup tournament for Uruguay. Where's it gone wrong so far, would you say? Can you pinpoint a couple of reasons for us?
Well, there's reports that there was actually a mini mutiny just before this game, and top Uruguay players like Valverde went to see Bielsa and said, look, the way we're playing, there's no way we're going to beat Spain. We have to be a bit more defensive. We can't be as open as you like to play, as Leeds fans remember him playing.
Yes.
Yes, a point might be enough. Ideally, you want to win it. He's gone with Darwin Núñez. He's put a striker up there to try and get the goals. It's not working at the moment. You can only imagine what that mutiny was like, and that Bielsa would have crushed it straight away and said, no, it's my way or the highway. But yeah, as we heard on commentary there, Valverde, as their kind of top star, really isn't doing enough, is he? You can say he's not in the best position to really affect the game, and that's part of it. But if Uruguay are going to save themselves somehow, then they need Valverde to pull something out of the bag in this second half.
Yeah, and as things stand, Cape Verde, due to goal difference and points, second in that group. Uruguay is not a side you would be putting below Cape Verde, who seem to have become everyone's unofficial second team in this World Cup. They're sort of everyone's fan favourites, aren't they now?
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, obviously the 0-0 draw with Spain, it was such a fantastic defensive performance, and then we had Vozinha, the goalkeeper, and the tears at the end of the game, and then FIFA never missing a marketing trip and immediately bringing his mother over.
Yes.
So, you know, it's a wonderful story. And of course, you know, it's good for Infantino because then you have one of the debutants getting through to the last 32. It looks like the other three debutants aren't going to make it, but Cape Verde are in a strong position. And if they can get a goal in the second half against Saudi Arabia, then it's looking even more likely. I mean, a fantastic story, really. And then to end up playing possibly the world champions in Argentina is quite incredible. So, yeah, there's always one team at a World Cup that captures people's imaginations. Obviously, 4 years ago, it was Morocco reaching the semi-finals, but this time it's definitely Cape Verde. A fantastic story when you think how small it is and they'd never qualified before.
And an unlikely Scottish contingent now supporting Cape Verde because Scotland need Uruguay and Iran to lose later on. So it's in the Scottish interests that Cape Verde put the pressure on Saudi Arabia and the Spaniards keep Uruguay at bay.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, obviously, Uruguay would only be on 2 points, and that isn't enough. Obviously, Scotland are on 3 points. There's no way 2 points and finishing third will be enough for anyone. So Scotland are clinging on there. Senegal didn't help them earlier on by scoring all those goals. So Senegal obviously went above them in this slightly silly third place table that we have for this World Cup. And obviously Scotland fans might be staying up for the Iran game as well. But yeah, you basically need a mathematics degree to work it all out, which shouldn't be what you should be doing in a World Cup. I mean, if you want to expand it to all these new teams, then why not just go the whole hog, go to 64, and then the maths works, the top 2 go through. And then actually, if you do it that way, you don't actually have any more matches for the individual teams. You have exactly the same number of matches as we have in this World Cup. It's just obviously overall you have more matches. There has been talk about the 2030 World Cup going to 64. I would be in favour of that because this third place situation is a nonsense, and it does mean some of the games are a little bit iffy. I know we've got Austria playing later against Algeria, where a draw will put both of those sides through. That's not what you want at the end of a World Cup group stage.
Imagine the stress of a 5 Live presenter who's not the best at maths trying to work out over the next couple of days who's on air during the end of the group stages, because, as you say, slightly unconventional how we get to this point. But, you know, it's keeping it exciting for now because so much could change in the next few hours, Mark, and that's keeping that excitement alive still.
Oh, definitely. And this Group H, is the best one, with everyone having a possibility to qualify. And we're talking now about Spain and Cape Verde going through as the winners and runners-up. And yet, you know, 3 goals, and suddenly it's Uruguay and Saudi Arabia going through, and maybe Cape Verde going out. So it's, you know, it's amazing that it can get like this, and that's the beauty of the group system. But having seen the first half there, you have to think Spain have done enough. And Cape Verde, well, it wasn't the best half of football against Saudi Arabia, and arguably Saudi Arabia had the best couple of chances.
Yes.
And Vozinha kind of saved them just at the end there. So we'll have to see how that pans out in the second half. But Cape Verde was so good against Uruguay, they took their chances. They were kind of presented a chance to make it 2-2, but they took it wonderfully well. So I think every neutral out there wants Cape Verde to do it. And if they help Scotland along the way, then everybody's happy in the UK.
Yes, quite. And as you say, we shouldn't necessarily count Saudi Arabia out of this at half-time because they did, you know, spring a surprise. They held Uruguay in their first match to a draw.
Yeah, and everyone thinks Saudi Arabia are a kind of whipping boys, but Saudi Arabia have been in many World Cups. You know, it's not just the kind of nouveau riche element of Saudi Arabian football and hosting 2034 and having Cristiano Ronaldo there. You know, they used to qualify for World Cups down the way when not many Asian teams did qualify. So you can't count them out. They've got something about them. And, yeah, it's 0-0. Anything can happen in the second half. And you just wonder whether it might all get a bit too much for Cape Verde if Saudi Arabia do go ahead. But we'll see. I think it's going to stay as it is. I think Spain are going to do it and Cape Verde are going to do it because every football tournament needs a fairy story, and Cape Verde is the obvious one at the moment.
Do you know, it does, and it's just nice, isn't it, to sort of get lost a little bit in that fairy tale. And an upset against Argentina, if that was to happen, would be quite something. But let's just steady our horses for now. What's your kind of setup then, so to keep across the maths? Have you got a big sort of gridded paper out? What's your mathematical assistant situation looking like, Mark?
Yeah, I'm doing the sums myself as well, just to double check. FIFA, to be fair to them, their website's not always brilliant, but to be fair to them, FIFA are kind of showing it live, and there's kind of a dotted green line if they're going through, or a dotted red line if they might be going out.
Yeah.
With Ecuador last night, there wasn't a dotted green line when they first went ahead against Germany, and then someone in FIFA Towers realised, oh no, this would put them through, even though it's impossible to really explain why, because it's all to do with, you know, teams who are playing each other, and if there's a draw, then only one team can go to a certain number of points, etc., etc. So it is quite complicated. But to be fair, the FIFA website seems to know what it's doing, and at the end of the day, yeah, Scotland fans have just got to cross their fingers, hope that Uruguay stay on those 2 points, hope that Iran don't do it, and then it gets even more complicated tomorrow as well. But yeah, it's top 8.
Let's let that happen tomorrow. Let's focus on tonight first. I recommend the FIFA website, but of course the BBC Sport website as well. Mark, thank you very much. Back to Mike Mino, because the teams are back out for the second half, Mike.
Yes, Joel, thank you. And a big call from Marcelo Bielsa at the break as Sergio Rochet is coming on to replace Fernando Muslera, his goalkeeper. He's changed his goalkeeper, has Marcelo Bielsa, and Rochet, a 33-year-old, some 7 years younger than Muslera, who has now departed, plays his football in Brazil. Was that mistake too costly in the mind of Marcelo Bielsa, Charlie Adam, and Rochet on?
Yeah, the first thing we think about is probably it's come from the goalkeeper's mistake, and that's, you know, Bielsa, he doesn't care, he'll make decisions, big decisions, and take goalkeeper at half-time, no problem. Now it's up to Rochet to come and make some big moments if he can, because he'll need to play well the second half if Uruguay are to get anything out of the game.
Well, Uruguay needed some inspiration. Maybe that is the Rochet up the backside that they needed. As the second half is underway, Spain leading by 1-0. Uruguay in those dark navy shirts. The shorts and socks to match are right to left, need a goal to stay in the World Cup, otherwise they're going home. It is good news for Scotland as it stands, and Rochet's gone long and found Darwin Núñez in the penalty area, needs a steadying touch, it never quite dropped kindly enough for him, but Canobbio takes over, now worms his way back out towards the far side touchline. Varela, Canobbio goes down, wins a free kick just outside the penalty area, close to the byline, arms out wide, appealing to the referee, maybe for a little more. The yellow card is out. What a start to the second half this is for Uruguay.
Yeah, it's a good start. I think when Núñez gets in the box, he just didn't get shot, he was never really in control of it, but Canobbio there just does really well, and Biña just makes a foul, and an opportunity now to put a ball in the box for Uruguay.
So Spain's goalkeeper Alex Baena is the one booked. His turn and shot in the first half, 5 minutes from the break, is the difference between the two sides. Araujo and De La Cruz over this free kick, equidistant from the ball. Either the left foot of Araujo or the right of De La Cruz will deliver this ball, in-swinging or out-swinging. Players all gather in and around the penalty spot. Rodri doing some marking, Araujo in at the near post. The ball flies off a Spanish back, I think, in the end, and comes out towards this near side. Spain all in white, left to right in the second half, defending the goal away to our left-hand side, where there is a pocket of sky blue fans behind that goal. The Uruguayan contingent in a largely, well, it's a red-seated arena. Hard to tell how full it is. Plenty of red shirts, though, supporting Spain this evening. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. 2 minutes gone in the second half. It's lively though from Uruguay as Araujo knocks it down, looking for Darwin Núñez. Araujo was offside. The flag goes up. There were appeals for handball. Won't count anyway. Spain quickly restart the play.
Yeah, it was good run from Araujo there, and it was a good pass, but just caught offside. You know, positive start from Uruguay this second half. You know, really been bright. Half chance there. It's a free kick into the box. Now really important now Spain just try and take the sting at that sort of first impression of the Uruguay in terms of trying to be playing forward, be aggressive. You know, Spain now trying to build the ball round the back and just taking that pressure. But Valverde now looking to press. A brilliant play from the goalkeeper, Simon.
Unai Simon has done brilliantly there. Just flicked the ball behind himself, didn't he, under his standing leg, and took it away from the attacker. Here's Llorente. Hair tied back and bright pink boots on, a common feature at this World Cup, these bright pink boots. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. Uruguay haven't come from behind, losing 1-0 at half-time in a World Cup match to win since 1962. Point might be good enough, but all depends also what's going on in the Cape Verde-Saudi Arabia game. And they are also back underway in the second half. Let's get the latest with Rob Law.
Yes, still 0-0, but Saudi Arabia have come out swinging, won a corner straight from the restart, and the delivery caused utter panic, but Cape Verde survived and they responded with a chance themselves, a good run down the far side. The ball cut back and Montero's first time shot was well saved. Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0.
Saudi Arabia know they have to win if they want to progress. Spain top the group, 7 points, Cape Verde 3 points, Uruguay and Saudi Arabia 2. Uruguay's goal difference is better, they are third, but it wouldn't be enough to see them through as one of the best third placed teams. Yamal facing his own goal, edge of his defensive third, dropped deep to try and get a touch of the ball and then influence the play. He's now rolled it out towards the left hand side. Cucurella, Baena in from the touchline, angled run, tries to find Mikel Merino, the Arsenal man. 8 goals in 10 games for Spain last year, joint top scorer in qualifying. Here come Uruguay. Canobbio just slows the ball up, allows it to roll between his two legs. Cucurella is back there, shielding him for now. Back down the line he goes. Uses Varela. De La Cruz. It's just going to be a stretch too far for Federico Valverde. Here's Yamal turning up against Bentancur, trying to break free. That's really good defending from Rodrigo Bentancur. Let Yamal go. It was all fair, but never gave him the space to get free.
Yeah, he just got ahead of him. A little bit of trick from Yamal, but Bentancur stuck at it, won the ball back, and you know, just starting to try and build an attack. But Yamal's just walking back here. He ain't want to help defend. You know, he's not helping Llorente one bit down this right-hand side and defending, because they know when he wins it, he's the one that goes and attacks them.
De La Cruz always overhit it. Too much pace to Canobbio on the right of the penalty area. It goes behind for a goal kick. Got to be tighter, got to be sharper from Uruguay.
Yeah, De La Cruz just overhits that pass, not into the. To be fair, tried to put it into the space for him, but overhit it, and Canobbio just never read the sort of pass. But going back to Yamal, and you know, he just basically walks back. He's a bit like Messi. You know, they just try and get him on the ball as quick as they can. That first pass in transition straight to him, but he doesn't want to come back and help Llorente one bit. He just stays up the pitch, and of course he's a real threat, but you need to help your team, and he's got a wonderful talent. It's just a joy to watch him again at such a young age. You know, he lit up the sort of last European Championships again as a young player, you know, 16, to come on and show that performance was really incredible.
Spinning ball into the centre for Rodri. I mean, Yamal will never escape the Messi likeness because of the way he plays football, but if he's walking back like him as well, it's certainly going to increase those comparisons. Here's Bain at left-hand touchline for Spain, who are left to right in the second 45 minutes. Rodri has the ball dead at his feet. He's then kicked it out for a throw-in because Pedri is down, holding his top of his left ankle, his left shin.
Yeah, it's Ganabi again. He just catches him right on the. He's caught him on the inside of the left foot there, just on the ankle. It's a little bit of a nasty one.
He's a rough player, Canobbio. He was certainly not scared of a challenge in the game against Cape Verde. Seems to be one of the players on board with Bielsa. Says he's helped improve his game, finding space, having more opportunities in front of goal. Unai Simon out of his penalty area, just brings the ball back in that 18-yard box away to our left-hand side. Spain's goalkeeper, pink gloves on, yellow shirt. 61 caps now for his country. Luis de la Fuente says there's no debate about the Spanish goalkeeper position. As Charlie was saying in the first half, David Raya of Arsenal, second choice it would seem. Joan Garcia of Barcelona, third choice. Both outstanding for their respective domestic clubs, but De La Fuente certainly prefers Unai Simon. Between the posts, Yamal is caught late by Sanabria, who is rapidly shown the yellow card by our American referee.
Yeah, it's a tough tackle, that. I do like it. I used to like to tackle myself, but I think now he's just tried to. Yeah, he just never got there quick enough. Sanabria, Yamal's just done him quickly and just catch him on the top of the foot. But no, again from Uruguay, what we expect, isn't it? Be aggressive, fight for that jersey, fight for your country, and they're definitely bringing that to the game. And you have to try and upset the teams. You have to, the best teams, you need to try and take the rhythm away from them. And is that by fouls? If that's taking the game, taking the sting out of the game, you have to find a way, especially if you feel that, you know, they've obviously got a bit of better players. But Uruguay have been much more aggressive after the second half.
Getting another replay of Muslera's spill into his own net from the shot of Alex Baina. Uruguay 0, Spain 1, nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half. Let's run you through the two teams as Spain get the play back underway. Rochid is now the goalkeeper for Uruguay. Varela, Cáceres, Oliveira, Sanabria, they're back for. De La Cruz has replaced Manuel Ugarte, who went off on the stretcher during the first half. A knee injury, it looks like. Bentancur and Valverde with Canobbio, Nunez and Araujo, their front three. Spain have Unai Simon in goal. Llorente, Cabasi, Laporte and Cucurella, with Rodri, Marino and Pedri in the midfield. Lamine Yamal, Oyarzabal and Alex Baina, the goal scorer up front. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website and app. As Araujo comes short to collect the ball. Play goes on for now. De La Cruz can't get the turn. Referee tried to play advantage with Araujo down on the deck. Kabasi, the offender, looks like he's picked up a thumb injury of some sort. He's got a heavily strapped up, bandaged right wrist. And the free kick given in Uruguay's favour, midway inside the Spain half, Charlie Adam.
Yeah, it's getting tasty now, isn't it? Both teams now starting to get fouls. Still, both teams trying to be aggressive. And, you know, Uruguay have dished it out now. Spain starting to get a little bit needle as well, which has brought life to this game.
Free kick goes in again, swung past everyone behind for a goal kick. De La Fuente looking a little bit more agitated. The Spain manager changed his top at half-time as well. Still got the overshirt on, but he's now got a grey polo on instead of the white T-shirt that he had before. As another Uruguay change is on the way, and Federico Valverde, I mentioned his lack of impact. The captain's off for Uruguay. Another big call from Marcelo Bielsa. And it is Federico Viñas, one Federico for another, and Viñas, who started the game against Cape Verde but couldn't find a goal, is on alongside Darwin Núñez, the man he replaced for that Cape Verde game.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going more of a 4-4-2 now. De La Cruz and Bentancur going to play in the two sort of 6 positions, and now we're going into sort of top end of the pitch. So positive start, a positive change for Uruguay, trying to make more of an effort and a more sort of front-footed go at Spain to see with, you know, sort of half an hour to go.
He will also help bully that Spanish back line. Viñas is nicknamed the Tank, as the ball bounces into the Spanish half from a Uruguay header. Rodri out towards the left-hand side with Baina, who tries to now return the ball infield to Pedri. They play the 1-2. Pedri swings in a ball early from the left-hand side. Heavy touch from the Uruguayan defender, Cáceres, as he kept it in. I think the referee has pointed for a corner. The ball bounced off him awkwardly. Baina is down, rolling around, clutching his face from that give and go. Just past the halfway line. Yellow card distributed, I think, in the direction of Canobio. We'll confirm that in a minute. In fact, it's going to be Varela, I think, who has been shown the yellow card for just glancing the cheek of Baina with his elbow. Charlie Adam.
Yeah, it's a foul. He just tried to go by Baina, and he just catches him in the eye. And let's say this game's come alive in terms of two teams want to be aggressive against each other now, making it a bit of a fight. So we'll see who can handle it.
So we'll let this Spanish free kick, corner kick rather, happen. Far side there, left, outswinging delivery set from Yamal. In it goes towards the penalty spot. Rodri rises, but Uruguay headed away. Let's go to Houston, then get the latest on Cape Verde, who may be set for Argentina in the knockouts, taking on Saudi Arabia. Rob Law.
Still 0-0, but Kevin Pina, who scored Cape Verde's first ever World Cup goal, which was a stunning free kick from 30 yards against Uruguay, who's almost at it again. A huge strike from distance. He sort of stamped the ball up, hit it on the volley, and it narrowly missed the top corner. They're playing some really nice football, Cape Verde, and as it stands, they're going through. Saudi Arabia are going home. Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0.
Bentancur, the latest defender on the field. A push on Mikel Moreno. I'll say push, actually. He's just clattered straight into him, hasn't he?
Yeah,
taking him out.
It's good play from Moreno. Just lovely, check the shoulders and just played a nice quick ball past them, and Bentancur fouls.
So a double change for Spain now. Pedri is off, as is Mikel Moreno, having taken that knock. That's not enough to take him off. That was always the plan from Luis de la Fuente. Fabian Ruiz, Champions League winner for Paris Saint-Germain, comes onto the field, as does Dani Olmo, the man who's gone big in the media this week. Told the Spanish media outlet AS that it's Time for the second star. Here come Uruguay looking for the second goal in this match, but Araujo, heavy touch off his left boot to the right of the D, means the ball carries into the path of Unai Simon, who will take a big sigh of relief that that isn't more troublesome for him. Uruguay 0, Spain 1, hour marks just past. Charlie Adam.
Yeah, again, it was a decent enough ball from Uruguay, but Simon just collect there, good position in his goal, and two positive substitutes there from Spain, and bringing on Olmo and Ruiz there, looking to try and freshen up that middle of the pitch. Well, obviously Rodrigo sitting behind, and then you get the two sort of number 8s in there.
Correa, flat ball down the middle, picked up rather easily by Cáceres of Uruguay. Those navy shirts on, they're inside the centre circle. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. BBC Radio 5 Live. Small hours of Saturday morning. Still more football to come for you as well before breakfast, because we'll bring you Egypt-Iran from 4 o'clock with Lee Blakeman and Efe Nkoku, with updates from the double-shifting Rob Law of Belgium against New Zealand. He might squeeze in a little hour's nap in between. Set your alarms for 4 o'clock. As
Will you be snoozing at that time?
Say again?
Will you be snoozing at that time?
I will be, with all respect to Lee and Effen and Rob, I will be fast asleep at that time. But I can listen back on BBC Sounds when I wake up. If you get the app, you can listen back to the World Cup on 5 Live. If you miss any of the action overnight or in the evening, depending on when your body clock is set for, you can listen back and enjoy the games over on BBC Sounds, plus the podcast like Football Daily that drops each day at the World Cup. Rick Edwards and Lloyd Griffith bringing you all the latest from the US, and based over in LA. Spain coming forward, Dani Olmo, blonde hair, trying to get in the penalty area, takes a tumble. Referee had a good look at that and decides nothing doing, and Olmo, almost in disbelief, with that look on his face with a big smile, gets back to his feet.
Yeah, it's good play from Olmo. 1-2 round the corner. I think it is a bit of a foul. He does brilliant, just as actually when Bentancur comes diving in to stay in. Yeah, it's a foul on the edge of the box, but he doesn't get it. The referee plays on. He's very unlucky there, almost. Good play.
So blonde, his hair, it's almost white. Dani Olmo, the number 10. Says Lamine Yamal's not asked him for his number 10 shirt at Spain yet. Yamal wears 10 for Barcelona, wears 19 for Spain, and he's on the ball now at pace towards the penalty area, shifts in field, left foot layoff for Dani Olmo, clip shot wide of the goal. Well, I thought Yamal might take it on himself, but unselfishly squared it to Olmo, who dug under it, miscued it completely, wide it goes. Still Spain leading 1-0.
Terrific play on the counter-attack. Yamal just attacks the full-back really well, pace, speed getting at them, and he just tried to be a little bit unselfish and just slide it into Olmo. Pass probably wasn't what he expected. It was bobbling up. He's got to do a little bit better, at least hit the target. But again, Yamal causing all sorts of problems. I think when he cuts inside, maybe he could just go and bend that in that opposite corner, the far corner, but he wanted to try and lay it on a plate for Olmo, and just never connected well enough with it.
Rodri, with his back to 3/4 of the pitch, was under a little bit of pressure there from Araujo. 5 Spanish attempts, 3 for Uruguay. We've only had 1 shot on target in this game, and it's the Spanish goal. Here is Darwin Nunez, still getting those minutes in. Very little action since February. Araujo with a dance around the penalty area. Left foot whipped in cross towards the near post. Who was that off last? Goal kick given. Uruguay race to the referee. Viñas was trying to get in there, but he got the last touch. Goal kick.
Yeah, just Spain, when they're turning the ball over, there's big spaces in that middle of the pitch. No, Rodri's not played as much, but he's only just coming back. Keep talking about he's coming back from that long-term injury he had, and he's I felt at the back end of the season for Man City he was getting better, and again here he's getting in there, but maybe fatigued, maybe kicking in with that heat and that. So he can't vacate that space because he's a key player for Spain in that sort of number 6 role, and when he's not there, the space is so big that Uruguay can attack them quickly.
Yeah, played 9 times less in the last 2 seasons combined, Rodri, than he did in the 23-24 campaign, which was his last full season, Euro 2024, and then it all went wrong from there. But Spain are Euro champions, beating England in the final. The man who scored the winning goal that day, Oyarzabal, is out there. England in action later today. 10 o'clock kickoff as they take on Panama. You can hear that on BBC Radio 5 Live. Not the only England side in action, of course. Cricketers taking on New Zealand. Third test at Trent Bridge. England closed day 2, 223 for 2. Still 215 runs behind. Coverage on Sports Extra from 11 o'clock with the test match special team. And then, of course, 3 games at the Women's T20 World Cup. Pakistan, Netherlands from 10:30, West Indies, Ireland from 2:30, and then England, New Zealand also from 6:30. All those games available for you on Sports Extra 2. And then we've also got commentary tomorrow of the Austrian Grand Prix qualifying from 3 o'clock. Kimi Antonelli topping practice. Spain make yet another change. They're bringing on Crystal Palace's Yeremy Pino. And the goal scorer departs, Alex Bainer, whose touch was brilliant. The finish not so convincing, and if Spain do win this, Bainer will be thanking Uruguay's former goalkeeper in this game, Fernando Muslera, for parrying the ball almost into the bottom left-hand corner. But Bainer's done what he needed to do. Spain, you a win, makes sure they top the group.
Yeah, I think he's showing some real good qualities tonight, Bainer. You know, cutting inside, some lovely crosses, being a real threat at the top end of the pitch. But ultimately got a little bit lucky with the goal, but you have to take it when you can, and you know, it's put Spain into the lead.
Nearly hydration break time, which will please everybody, I'm sure. Certainly please Rob Law, because he'll have work to do. We'll have to go to him for an update. Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia in Houston. We'll be watching that and keeping an eye on that for you on BBC Radio 5 Live as the ball is played out to the left-hand side. Aruha had a little chase on, now squares up against Llorente, who gets a decisive touch, flicks the ball back to Danny Olmo, shoulder to shoulder with Benton Kerr, and all is fair now. Here's Darwin Nunez for Uruguay. Sanabria, deep cross that just sails out for a throw-in on the far side by the corner flag. Missed everybody in the penalty, almost missed the entire penalty area before it bounced.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Sarabia to put it into the box, and you know, he just overhit it. But I thought it was actually I thought it was a foul, Bertincourt on Olmo there.
Hydration break called. Come in, Rob Law.
Still 0-0 here. Cape Verde, though, playing themselves into danger. It's got really scrappy in the last few moments. Both managers making plenty of changes, which has just disrupted the rhythm of the game, really. But Cape Verde give it away short of the halfway line. White Saudi Arabian shirts full in support, flooding forward. The ball worked across to Mohamed Abu Al-Shamat, whose effort was lifted up into the air, but of course Vizinha was there to claim it proudly, to just soak up the effort and soak up the pressure on the Cape Verde goal. Still 0-0, and again, as it stands, it would be Cape Verde going through to the last 32 if it stays like this.
Yeah, I'll give you the latest table in a moment as the pastely skies above the Guadalajara Stadium. The mountains far off in the background, but you can see them casting their shadow on the skyline. Sunset setting behind them. This bowl arena, red seats all around, 2 tiers separated by hospitality boxes, circular in design, huge grass mounds that you walk through to get into the stadium. Almost creep up to the top of the second tier in terms of level, then the roof covers it over the top. Lovely stadium in Mexico. Its final game at the World Cup.
Bit like the Teletubbies?
Bit like the, yes. Which Teletubby would you be?
Lala.
Lala. Well, yeah, I was steering clear of Dipsy in whatever I said, so. Uruguay 0, Spain 1, midway through this second half. The players getting a hydration break here. Marcelo Bielsa off his drinks bucket that he takes his perch on whilst the game is underway. He's got the rear of his polo shirt, his baggy polo shirt, tucked in. The front hangs down. What a great shot of the moon that is as well in the Mexican sky. The stadium sits on the western side of Guadalajara. Its 4th and final game of the World Cup. Luis de la Fuente in conversation with one of his assistants, and we'll get ready to restart here. So the latest Group H table, all playing 3, of course. It's the final round of matches. as Uruguay make yet another change. Sanabria, who was on a booking, has come off, and Brian Rodriguez has come on. He's a winger by trade. I imagine he'll go on the left-hand side, where Sanabria had previously been on the left side of defence, perhaps, but allowed to get forward at times. So Spain top the group, 7 points. Cape Verde going second. With that draw against Saudi Arabia, they would face Argentina, 3 points for them. Uruguay, 2 points. If Uruguay can find an equaliser, they would then go second. Cape Verde would still sit in the rankings of the third-place teams in that top 8 of the 12 third-place teams at this World Cup. And Saudi Arabia, bottom of the group, on 4. But if Saudi Arabia score, the picture changes all again. Rob Law watching the game in Houston for us, where it's still 0-0. It is 1-0 Spain here. Uruguay in possession, far side touchline. They are right to left in the second half, all in navy. They try a crossfield pass that bounces nicely for Brian Rodriguez. Again, up against Llorente, who sticks out a right leg, then a left leg, gets the touch, and it's out for a throw on this near side.
Yeah, it's a good switch of play out to Rodriguez. He wants to come in the inside. Actually, probably could have went on the outside of Llorente there, but again, lovely feet so far from Rodriguez.
Yeah, and goes into the penalty area, left-hand side. He got past 2, including Lamine Yamal, but eventually just showed too much of the ball from a recovering Spain defence. All in white are the Spanish this evening. Both these sides playing in their away kits. Uruguay straying from the traditional sky blue, and Spain coming forward in numbers here. Yamal is free on the right-hand side, and he's been picked out. Gets the control, takes a touch, puts it on his left foot, darts back onto his right by the 6-yard box. Sliding block comes in from Cáceres. It's enough to prevent Spain for now. But here's Olmo. He takes over. Has the outside on the right in the form of Jeremy Pino as support. The initial darting run made by Fabian Ruiz took the ball right up the other end of the pitch for Spain. They now have it in the centre circle.
Yeah, it's brilliant play. Lamal on the outside, goes on the outside, tries to come back on the inside. He actually, when he goes back on his right-hand side, he should have just had a shot, but he tried to square it. And I just think he needs that little bit of ruthlessness to maybe stick it in the net, but you know, he's just trying to set a teammate up. It was lovely play down this right-hand side for Spain again.
72 minutes played, and Spain still lead. The 4 teams in the third-place rankings still guaranteed their place. Sweden, Ecuador, Bosnia and Paraguay. Senegal, Croatia, South Korea and Algeria are holding on for now. Scotland are too, because they needed Uruguay to lose, and that's happening. They'll need Iran to lose against Egypt from 4 o'clock. Commentary to come in that game on BBC Radio 5 Live. Sloppy pass back from Spain. They get away with it because Viñas couldn't turn well enough, but now Spain come forward and Olmo flicks it on the reverse pass on the outside of his boot. The run was made in the other direction, so it rolls into the hands of Rochet in the Uruguay goal.
Yeah, lovely play for Dani Olmo, just in the middle of the pitch, turns away from Bentancur, and Ruiz makes the wrong run. He goes on the opposite side, and he could have actually just slid in the side, but it's good play from Dani Olmo. But just there for Scotland. At 4 o'clock in the morning, we need Magic Mo to turn up for us tonight. Hopefully we get the Mo Salah 2 years ago at Liverpool, or the last sort of 8 or 9 years and not last year. So he's we need a big performance from Mo Salah tonight. So I'll be a big Egyptian fan tonight, hoping he can do a bit of work for us.
One former Liverpool player talking about an ex-former Liverpool player as well. Mo Salah, of course, moving on this summer as well.
Interesting to see where he turns up, isn't it?
Very interesting.
You know, does he go to Saudi, which would be a huge signing for them, for the Saudi Arabian League, but still think he's got a couple of years left at the top level.
Scored his first World Cup goals, of course, at this tournament, as Egypt themselves are hoping to reach the knockout stages of the World Cup for the very first time. As we watch Yamal just skip past Uruguay's Maxi Araujo. It's Rochet to go long, but only makes the halfway line. Then it's headed back into the Uruguay half. De La Cruz, a little push in the back from Dani Olmo, gives Uruguay a free kick. They take it quickly. They find Brian Ruiz on the left-hand side. Llorente, who's having to marshal him since he's come on. There was a handout, but not enough to convince the referee. There's a foul. Rodriguez seemed to go down early. Llorente's now carried this ball into the Uruguay half. Didn't really know what to do with it or where to go. He was well out of position. And Spain have slowed it down and gone back into their own territory once again, leading 1-0.
Yeah, Llorente, brilliant play from him. Rodriguez tries to come inside, just puts his left sort of right arm across his shoulder, or his chest, shoulder, puts him on the floor, takes the ball off him, drives with the ball. But a couple of subs coming on now as well for Spain, trying to freshen up for that last period now to try and take the game away from Uruguay.
Yeah, I think it's Ferran Torres down there, as well as Pedro Porro, as Olmo is down on his back, grimacing, having taken yet another knock. It's become a little stop-start, this game, as niggly fouls going in. It's Oyarzabal that goes off for Spain. As the replacement, Nico Williams, is on. And Lamine Yamal has been replaced. He's had a couple of bright moments, Yamal, but his impact over perhaps the course of 75 minutes hasn't been full, hasn't been constant.
No, but again...
But he's looked dangerous.
Yeah, he's looked dangerous, but for again, it's more about coming back from sort of injuries, had a couple of injuries and hamstrings and at the back end of the season, so looking to try and get him 75 minutes again. They've built him up this sort of World Cup, ready for the sort of the real, you know, shootout in the next sort of few days, and real important that he's fit and fresh, so he'll be delighted with the 75 minutes that he's produced tonight so far.
Yeah, and important minutes for Nico Williams, who's come on. He suffered from a hernia throughout the season, then at the end of the season it ended a couple of weeks early for him with the grade 1 hamstring strain. His brother will be in action tomorrow. Inaki, part of the Ghana squad, who take on Croatia. Reports of that on 5 Live during England-Panama, which is at 10 o'clock. We have 13 minutes left of this second half. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. It will send Uruguay home, and Cape Verde will be set for a match with Argentina, because as it stands, they are staying second in the group, Rob Law.
They are, and Cape Verde have just had the best chance of the game so far, and it fell the way of Cape Verde. A sweeping counter-attack, long ball forward, plucked out the air brilliantly by Nuno da Costa, released Laros Dirat, who hit it first time, well stopped down low by the Saudi Arabian goalkeeper. A real chance to take the lead, but it is still goalless. Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0.
Thanks, Rob. Anything happens in that game, we will let you know immediately on BBC Radio 5 Live. Fabian Ruiz turns back to his goalkeeper, Unai Simon, who immediately, first time, sends it high up towards the halfway line. Spain lead this group, Cape Verde second, Uruguay third, Saudi Arabia fourth as it stands. But could all change. Uruguay need a goal. A goal keeps them in the World Cup. Where Scotland are concerned, a Uruguay goal likely sends Scotland further into trouble. Here's De La Cruz for Uruguay, jogging towards the Spain penalty area. Brian Rodriguez curls it round out towards the right-hand side, where the flag goes up against Canobio. And Marc Cucurella applauds, I think, both the officials and the Spanish defence for stepping up at the right time there. I thought it was a tight call. Replays show it was the right call.
Yeah, good play, good defensive line there. I was enjoying myself, Mike, until you talked about Scotland there, saying pushes into more trouble here, but
so conscious to avoid it.
Yeah, it's not right.
You picked the wrong night to work.
Yeah, honestly, should be proud of us. We're there, and we're going to outlast Uruguay.
Might be going out with Uruguay, who knows, as Darwin Núñez races into the edge of the penalty area, but quicker than him was Unai Simon, sliding along the ground, gathers on the edge of his penalty area.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a good ball, just overhit, and it was a good position for the goalkeeper to come out, pounce on it, and there. But let's say Núñez, the second half, not really had a kick, not really spoke much about him. In terms of even physically, not even got close to Laporte and Cabase. But Spain have had a lot of control in the game now this second half. Looking to see the last sort of period out, and been important that they stay sharp and they're ready. But for Uruguay, they can't open up too quickly, because the speed of that top end of the pitch now for Spain is very, very quick.
There will come a point where they have to risk it, though.
Yeah, they have to. And again, like you say, it's now trying to get as many attacking players as you can. You're going out. You need to make a decision, and you know, that's probably where maybe 5-10 minutes to go is when they just throw the kitchen sink at it. You may as well have a go now, and let's say they might get that one moment and hopefully it falls to the right guy.
Yeah, their final third qualities lacked a little bit. Uruguay, the instinctive ball, the killer ball. Canobio in front of that hedgerow that separates the pitch from the fans on the far side, the neatly clipped conifers. Here is Uruguay coming forward. Fine Canobio with his long hair. It's a deep cross. Again, it's that final third issue. It just sails over behind for a goal kick. They are not getting those critical passes, those critical crosses correct, and it's causing problems. Well, it's causing frustration.
Yeah, a lot of frustration there. Canobio just kicking, trying to put a ball and bend the ball in, but he actually bent it out over the goal, and huge frustration for Uruguay, because they get selling in decent positions, but they don't execute it right.
Laporte out towards the left-hand side. Cucurella squeezed out on the touchline, somehow gets the turn, almost playing it off Canobio, and free kick given as he goes down in the aftermath. We have 10 minutes left of this second half, at least at the 90 minutes. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. Final games of Group H. Final games of Group G follow us. Then tomorrow it is the conclusions of Group J, K and L. I say tomorrow, today. It's this time difference. It's messing.
What day is it?
Yeah, very good question. I'm led to believe it's Saturday. As Rodriguez turns, but he'll have a lot of work to do on that left-hand side. Quickly back with him. Oh, could have been a boot on head situation there on Yeremy Pino. Rodriguez plays on for now. Pino gets back to his feet as the ball is swung in near post by Oliveira, who tried to catch Simon out. Whether he intended it or not, that's how the ball was angled towards the near post on the left of the penalty area. Simon pushes behind, and that is a corner kick to Uruguay on this near side. Some rough and ready action in the build-up to that. Corner swung in away from Nico Williams, who races towards the near side of the penalty area. Bentancur, left-footed, swung in cross. Oh, it was deep, and Oliveira was arriving, but it goes over his head and out for a throw-in on the far side. Better from Uruguay. Those balls look more intentional.
Yeah, that was a good play. All started from Rodriguez down this sort of left-hand side, and Oliveira just sort of tried to cross it, but ended up let a shot to the front post. But a good play from even Bentancur there. Left foot, put into a decent area, just too high. But yeah, the intent was still there from Uruguay, looking to try and get this equaliser.
Rochen out of his penalty area. Varela finds a fellow defender. It is hoist up towards the far side of the field, deep in the Spain half, but Cucurella has it tracked. Olmo will be off to Houston in a moment. 7 minutes left of this game. Uruguay trailing, Spain desperate for a goal to keep them in this World Cup. Yet to win at the World Cup, Uruguay. They give away a free kick for a foul on the now long-haired, curtain-haired Ferran Torres. You might remember he had a shorter approach at Manchester City. Walking pace for Yeremy Pino, back to the halfway line. Let's quickly go back to Houston. Rob Law.
Well, it's still 0-0. Nervy moments for Saudi Arabia at the back, across into the penalty area, and goalkeeper Mohamed Alouis, as the ball slipped through his fingers, almost fell to a Cape Verde attacker, but it was scrambled away. Saudi Arabia coming back. It's really opening up, but it's still 0-0 with 85 minutes on the clock.
So they're slightly ahead of us in Houston from what we are watching in Guadalajara. Night sky now in Mexico. Floodlights casting faint shadows on this circular roofed arena. Spanish fans with the red and yellow face paint, coupled with red tinted glasses. Uruguay fans quiet, secretly praying perhaps, as Spain play a sloppy pass that Bentancur can intercept on the far left-hand side. Then as he tangles with Cucurella, the ball might run for Nunez. Seaman again out of his penalty area, slides in. But I think in the aftermath of that and the Nunez chase, offside has been given. It will be a Spain free kick, Charlie Adam.
Yeah, it just went too early. Nunez there, but again, good line from Cabalse there. you know, Laporte goes all the way in, and Cabalse covering there, but Nunes, he's worked so hard for the team and does a lot of work off the ball for the team, but I'd like to see him closer at the goal and in between the sticks more, and being a real threat there.
Some real glum faces and the Uruguay fans. Maybe they'll have a smile in a moment. Here's De La Cruz from 30 yards, says Simon, who knocks it down to the ground and clutches very quickly at the second time of asking. On target from De La Cruz, hit like an arrow, but Seaman saw it all the way.
Yeah, good shot from De La Cruz, but comfortable save from Simon. Well covered, but again, let's say they're keeping at it, Uruguay, and Spain have to be wary of that.
Uruguay have made the knockouts in 6 of their last 8 campaigns in the World Cup. They are going out as it stands, trailing the Spain, and they won't be one of the top 8 third-placed teams at this tournament. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. 5 minutes left of the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live. Alex Baina's goal, the turn and shot spilt by Muslera into his own net, is still the difference. Spain come forward down the middle. Torres plays a 1-2. Lovely little poke from Torres, who hits the bar. And it flies off and behind for a goal kick. That was the chance to send Uruguay home. And Spain confirm themselves top of the group. Torres with some lovely play on the edge of the penalty area. His first touch took him away from the defenders, but the finish hits the crossbar. Still Spain leading 1-0.
It's brilliant 1-2 with Ruiz there, and he goes by Oliveira, and he tries to open his body up and whip it into the opposite corner, and he hits the top of the bar. But brilliant play from Ferran Torres, just a change of tempo, the rhythm of the game, the pass and the movement, really special.
He's already inside the top 10 scorers for his country. Is Ferran Torres, cap number 60 tonight. 24 goals. He was looking for quarter of a century there. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. A nod between Fabian Ruiz and Ferran Torres. Little concern here for one of the Spain players. Jeremy Pino just got a big shoulder in some part of that build-up play.
Yeah, just shoulder to shoulder. He's hurt it a little bit there, but it's a lovely movement and pass from Torres. Just the end bit, that hitting the crossbar.
Right-footed from the edge of the area. It was over the goalkeeper. Just couldn't keep it under the bar. Let's go to Houston, Rob Law.
Still 0-0, but Cape Verde pushing hard for a goal. They want to do this in style. They are minutes away from continuing their fairy tale. Wagner Pino had a shot on the edge of the area, partially blocked, and it fell into the path of Rodriguez, but he couldn't steer it in. It's Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0. You feel there may just be a goal for Cape Verde in this game in the dying minutes.
And it still could change, given the fact that Austria still have to play, but at the moment Spain are playing Austria. Cape Verde would finish second in Group H and face the world champions Argentina in a World Cup campaign, a debut campaign where they've already played Spain, already played Uruguay, got points off both. They'll take on Argentina.
Absolutely, they've done brilliant. But we just do not need Rob saying, Houston, we've got a problem for this Scotland camp, I'm telling you, because we'll be under a lot of pressure. But yeah, they've done unbelievable, haven't they? They 2 results against Uruguay and Spain, and then ultimately this, you know, if it stays the way, the same magnificent achievement.
Uruguay here looking for lift-off with Rodriguez turning in from the left-hand side. Edge of the centre circle for Cáceres. Spain set defensively into the final 90 seconds of the 90 minutes. Spain leading by a 1-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds this Saturday morning. Still Egypt around to come. De La Cruz, right-footed, drifting ball over the head of Cucurella to the far side of the penalty area, controlled by Canobio, swung in by Varela. Away it goes, though, from a Spanish defender. Picked up by Bentancur, who's taken over the captain's armband with the departure of Federico Valverde and a substitution made by Marcelo Bielsa. Still has one more to make if he wants, Bielsa, if he fancies some pace from somewhere else. Jeremy Pino back on the pitch after that shoulder knock that required some treatment from the medics. Canobio on the left-hand touchline. Uruguay in navy shirts from right to left. Varela moving infield, just lays it back towards the halfway line. 30 seconds left of normal time as a skipping ball comes out towards this near side. Rodriguez right-footed. It's another cross-field deep hit towards Canobio, who controls it down well, turns up against Cucurella, plays it in at the near post. What an instinctive touch from Laporte, not once, twice. Canobio, Uruguay player, goes down, asking that he was pulled down towards the referee, who has given Spain a free kick, and Canobio is screaming in the referee's face. They feel there should be something more. With Federico Viñas down in the penalty area, Uruguay tried everything. Solid defending from Laporte certainly stopped the opportunity from Darwin Nunez. And it's all kicking off on the edge of the technical area as well. Charlie Adam makes sense of that.
No, I don't think it's a foul. I think Danny Olmo just gets there in front, and actually a foul on him himself.
Olmo comes in. I think Viñas feels anything, doesn't he? He goes down there.
He's always just playing for it. He's playing for that, and Uruguay bench are going crazy here, but it was a foul on Olmo there.
Yeah, still having a word with the fourth official. I think the Uruguay bench down in front of the cameras to the left of the halfway line. 5 minutes of added time were shown. We've nearly eaten up a minute of that without any game being played, so we might be closer to 6 minutes as we close on 3 o'clock Saturday morning on 5 Live. Long clearance downfield from Spain into the hands of Sergio Rochet, the half-time substitute goalkeeper for Uruguay. The mistake of Muslera, one of their most capped players, might be the mistake that sends him home. Rochet hits it long. Nunez gets a glancing header on it, but Simon can make the save. It must be into added time in Houston as well, where Cape Verde might be finishing second in Group H, Rob Law.
They might indeed. We are still into a stoppage time as it stands, but it is still 0-0. They are dancing in the stands, the Cape Verdeans. They feel they are almost there, but there is still dying embers of this game left. It's Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0 into the dying moments now.
Rob, thank you. If that changes, we'll let you know. 5 minutes of added time in Guadalajara, where 2 minutes have gone. Long ball away from Rochet towards our right-hand side. He sends it to the left-hand side of the halfway line. Llorente half volleys it away back towards the midpoint of his own half. Uruguay need to get hold of this ball. If they get anything, they can't. Oh, what a chest from Varela, though. And Varela's coming forward here, but his layoff to the corner of the penalty area is poor. And now Williams will race away for Spain. He was tripped. That's going to be a yellow card. De La Cruz and Nico Williams square up against each other head to head. The pressure is showing on Uruguay. It was a tactical foul from De La Cruz because Williams was racing away. And I think it all boiled over in the aftermath of that. And time is flowing away from Uruguay. Spain players not happy with just the yellow card being shown, Charlie Adam.
Yeah, no, it's a foul on the counter-attack. You have to stop the play. But Canobio just runs 25 yards just to get involved and make it a scrap and a scramble that didn't need to be done. He's obviously frustrated. He pulls the referee's arm there, but De La Cruz had to make the foul. Williams was ahead of him, and just end up a melee for no reason, really.
Canobio almost squared head-to-head with the referee, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. Tell you what, he was in there, he was aggressive even around the referee, so he needs to watch what he's doing.
90 seconds left of added time. We've had 3.5 minutes, but in terms of actual game time, I'd be surprised if we've even had a minute yet. Williams trying to poke the ball, smashed away, deflecting off Williams. Out for a Uruguay throw in the right-back position. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. Bielsa agitated, anxious on his drinks box inside his technical area. Sent long towards the halfway line from Uruguay. Second ball needs to be won and is by De La Cruz. They're playing head tennis amongst themselves before Dani Olmo brings it down. Fair challenge won by Viñas. Here's Canobio. Oh, as he tried to turn, he showed too much and he's gone in two-footed. Canobio's going to be in trouble. Straight red card. It goes from bad to worse on a night when Uruguay are going to exit the World Cup. Canobio has looked frustrated and agitated for the last couple of minutes, and he's given the referee no choice. Two-footed, cleans out a Spanish defender, and he is shown a red card.
Yeah, he lost his discipline, lost his head. He's had 2 or 3 fouls like that in the game. in terms of, you know, every time he gave a foul, his reaction was there. But yeah, it's a poor tackle, and it's a red card. He actually probably could have got a yellow card earlier for the melee before that, but yeah, it was a poor tackle on Cabalcia.
2-footed, Spanish bench really frustrated. In fact, some of the Uruguay benches got involved, pushing and shoving all on the halfway line here, in between the two technical areas. Canobbio 2-footed, jumps in, studs up. Drama in Guadalajara, and Canobbio is having to be held back by some of his teammates to stop himself going to the Spanish bench and causing more problems. What's going on in Houston, Rob Law?
The full-time whistle has gone. Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0. One of the surprise packages of this tournament continues to shock and delight. The African nation, with a population of around 500,000, are through to the last 32 in their first ever World Cup. They defended with heart and determination at times, had opportunities in front of goal as well, but they have just etched their names in the history books. One of the smallest nations continuing to produce on the biggest stages. And up next, potentially Argentina. Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0.
Torres on the right-hand side, in slides Araujo, it comes off Torres, it's a goal kick. Uruguay throw it quickly to Rochet, the goalkeeper, who has to send it long. Uruguay need a goal to stay in the World Cup. Header away from Spain, it's on the halfway line. We're past the 5 minutes. In fact, we've had 6 of added time. Half of that has been trying to sort out the aggression of Canobbio. Uruguay 0, Spain 1. Bielsa, for all he's achieved, this will be a significant disappointment. He stands with his hands on his hips, the Uruguay manager from Argentina. Cucurella has a throw. There are tears in the eyes of the Uruguayan supporters. And there goes the full-time whistle on a night when World Cup debutants make the last 32. One of the most historic sides in FIFA World Cup history. 2 times winners Uruguay are out. Beaten by Spain without a win in the competition. King Felipe watches on and smiles and shakes hands in the crowd as the Spain players look pleased with themselves, and Uruguay players, some of them on their haunches, some of them needing to be consoled because they are out. They haven't won a game, and their World Cup campaign ends at the group stage. Not helped by Canobbio's late red card, but the problems were before that. Their final third quality was so poor tonight. It took one moment from Baina, it took one big mistake from the goalkeeper who failed to push the shot away convincingly. And as Uruguay players collapse on the floor, they have lost to Spain by a 1-0.
Yeah, it's a huge blow for Uruguay not qualifying out of this group. But your performances dictate, and they've not performed to the levels that they're capable of. They come in with, obviously, off the back of a tough sort of last, no scoring in 8 of the last 12 games to qualification, and they've underperformed. Unbelievable for Cape Verde to get the 3 draws to qualify out of this group, and really special for them. But I never ever felt that they were under pressure. Spain, I thought they were really good, really composed, and it's a brilliant result for Cape Verde to finish second in this group.
Well, Uruguay have disappointed at this World Cup. They were held by Saudi Arabia, then held by Cape Verde, as Oliveira is in tears. The coaching staff doing their best to support as Rodri leads the Spanish side to their supporters at the right end of the field. Happy night in Mexico for Spain as they are confirmed as group winners, looking like they'll play Austria. Uruguay are third in Group H, but their 2 points will not be enough to finish as one of the 8 third-place teams that can qualify for the round of 32. The side that have finished above them are the small African nation of Cape Verde on their debut. What are the scenes like in Houston, Rob Law?
Tears of pride and joy all around the stand. There was a beautiful moment where the full-time whistle had gone here. Cape Verde, as they lift the coach up into the air, the players are dancing on the pitch. They were all huddled round looking at their phones, waiting for the full-time whistle to go in your game, Mike, and when it did,